everybody. Tune in. Come in, join the conversation if you can. Y'all know my conversations are viral conversations. Okay. And I think people forget, or they just simply don't know, that when you are truly chosen, you can't afford spiritually to be flashy because there's already something about you that people wish to destroy that they can't even see. See, the people who still trying to, y'all look at my car, look at my house, look at my, you don't have nobody following you. You don't have certain people of a certain status stalking you. Okay, if you watch mob movies and different things like that, baby, you be like, they all wanted to team together to take out this person, and they all wanted to do this, and then they put a bomb in the car, and then they, when you get through, when you are chosen or you are making waves people ain't ready for, you become a target. But as my channel name says, I am the sis that don't miss. If only you knew how many people have tried to send hits to me in the last 2 years, and all of their hitters have never come back on this side of the plane again. I am the archerette. I be at the gun range more than your daddy, and not just the physical one, the spiritual one too. Because every attack that you go through is not spiritual. They are setting up spiritual encounters so that you think it's something spiritual happening when it's nothing more than pre-planned people who are going against you in the flesh. Okay, nobody co-signed for them spiritually to go against you. You are taking the time to not admit that you are people pleasing. And when you are a people pleaser or a mimic, okay, when you like to rest in everyone else's shadows but your own, do you know what happens? Yeah, you get bad karma. Okay, bad karma usually happens when people follow everyone else's shadow, trying to destroy their light or trying to make people unsee their light. I'm going to show you exactly why a lot of people have a problem with truth, because truth makes them look at themselves, but most of them already know themselves are exactly like the opposition. So you can't be like, oh, witches are getting exposed. No, they're not. Low level vibrational people who claim to be witches are getting exposed, and you're no different than them. Okay, that's how it goes when you are a mimic. And a lot of mimics, if you pay attention, they only talk about divine people's journey. That's it. They don't have anything else to even spit out of their mouth because that's how hard they watch you. They can't let anyone else know that they're not watching you. But how God really works is they have word vomit about you. Okay, everything you're doing, you're talking about your journey, it becomes their titles. It becomes their, a divine intuitive is being attacked by a dark witch. But everyone's fake readings become the talk of the town simply because you are the talk of the town. And like I said, if you ever watch mob movies, it's hilarious when they forget a lot of times the person that's the most hated in those type of movies are people who don't want to be up under you. Okay, in other words, yeah, you got something nice going on for yourself, but I don't agree with it spiritually. It's not what I'm looking for. It's not what I'm gonna do. I don't want to buy this part of the city just so I can make everyone here become junkies on fentanyl, and you can't tell me what to do with my abundance. And that's a problem for people who don't have none. Now, if you notice, a lot of people try to mock me because I'm not fake fat flashy. Okay? I'm not. I may spend $400 on my Kopi Luwak. Okay, that if you don't know, you just don't know. But coffee, tea, different thing. There, it's much different organically than when men who don't care about other men process it. It's a spiritual thing. But if you pay attention, look at how many people are pretending they're processing divine downloads when nothing in their life can reflect that. Not their talents, not their children, not their circumstances. See, when you're an actual target from people who got some money too, You can't afford to leave track records everywhere you go. Okay, so when I go places, if they don't let me buy it in full, I don't want to be there. Okay, if I can't choose the security system that I have there, I don't want to be there. Okay, if only y'all knew how many times that the government and other people have sent their personal hits to try to take me out of my vessel because they don't like that I tell the truth. But that was your fuck up, okay? When I got out the 51, y'all knew I wasn't coming back. It's cloak time, okay? And it was so hard to find the right vessel because no one's pure enough to be the spoken word of nothing. And it gets to a point where you have to remind people, you're here to do the devil's will. I'm here to do her will so she can stop falling for the devil in romance. That's the difference. And then you have people who are upset because you're not flashy. Well, if you didn't know, I have a doctor's office. Bought, paid for. And most of the time when I record videos, I'm in a doctor's office. Oops. I did not know how many people have ever gone to a doctor's office and complained because a doctor's office was plain or too simple for them to do what you came there to do. See, the doctor is not there to look at you from the outside. Okay, they have to go a little deeper and say, well, this is just, we have to see what's deeper inside of you. Let me get some blood work. Let me get some, okay, let's try your bone marrow. Let's do a little, you see what I'm saying? So people who have never been to the real doctors are still trying to compare their outsides. I'll be damned, I rent an Airbnb when I own almost 500,000 in acres. Why would I need to go buy an Airbnb and say, look at where I'm staying? You want to know why I gotta lay low? Because hating ass people who say they have everything they want won't stop trying to send hits with their money to me. And I love this, okay? This is like a game of Dragon Ball Z because it becomes catch me if you can, and I still can't get caught. See, people forget that when you are love, the thin line is that you exist, okay? And you exist without needing anything from the people who desire love. So people who really desire love, comfort, peace, calm, tranquility of the spirit, they are attracted to you because they see that's the only thing that you offer. Okay? The reason why certain people are like, what do you bring to the table? What could you, the thing is, they're the very people who know that they rely on you for everything else in their physical to manifest. And I'm going to show you what I mean. I don't know what that is. They add so many buttons on here. I'm going to show you guys what I literally mean. Okay? Because people know who the truth is. But when you are in love with the devil and false attention, these are the very people who sit up pretending they are going through what you're going through. So we're going to start this off because why not? Okay, nothing like telling the truth. That's why people don't like me. If you pay attention, a lot of people be regurgitating stuff, but they can't tell you who they got it from. Who told you? Okay, no one in their bloodlines told them. They're so busy stalking another bloodline. Okay, so you see, Shira 7 had to change her name. When you start calling out low class, very unattractive light-skinned women, they be upset because the makeup and the fake contouring and all the stuff doesn't work out for them. See, their backgrounds is what they consider to be what they enjoy, but they own nothing. Okay, when I say they own nothing, they can't stop the circus because they're one of the main acts in it. Okay, now I want you to look at this. It says witches stay paid with knowledge. No, they don't. Witches stay paid with sex. So if men don't want to fuck you, you don't get anything. Okay? Because you don't have anything spiritually to offer men that they already don't know you're pretending. So again, this is a year ago. You guys have to think about how long I've been online. This is why people stalk my channel but can't get active in my comments, can't get active when it comes to saying, I'm going through this spiritually, but I can't admit you are more divine and follow you. This is how you know most people wouldn't have followed Jesus. They would have been the people who crucified him because they want the rank as Jesus. This is why the Bible is about all the people who say they follow Jesus, including stories about themselves. so that you can talk about them more than who the book is supposed to be about. And the book of life that people keep trying to seduce in their favor is why they're always saying, God told me. No, 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 no. Even kids' cartoons let you know that most of y'all are not battling the angel on your shoulder. You're battling the devil that's on your shoulder getting more attention. Okay? You can always choose divine. Most people don't because they would have to admit it is not them. They are not there yet. So when they say they stay paid with knowledge, they stay paid with the divine's knowledge. And if they can get as many people to go against the divine and regurgitate, let me show you what a choir is. Okay, when you're going through real things spiritually divine, most people don't understand you have someone here that is divine, here to lay down their life for you. You do. In the flesh. Someone who's not scared of death because they're on the right side of it. So all we have to do is free you and then go into the realm where we protect you from a place they can't get to. We are the veil. We give you the wisdom. We lay down our lives to protect that wisdom to go to only you. And again, notice the people who come and talk shit, they're part of the wrong choir. Because again, I didn't know this was AI. I thought this was a conversation where this was just a screenshot that says, witches stay paid with knowledge. So it's okay, baby. You've never been who you say you are. That's why I can afford to pay my shit off and not have to jump around sleeping with people's husbands or anyone else for that matter. You know you can't tell me none, okay? Nothing. But I want to show you why they're so angry. Because they talk about AI, but this is AI. I don't do AI, baby. You know damn well my thumbnails and everything, they're too normal for you to consider me AI. But then again, what your eyes see is not what I care about. So whatever you take it as is what you take it as. It says it's headed back to sender. No, baby, it's already been returned. The thing is, there's a lot of fake frequencies in the way, blocking it. In other words, you know how people be talking about everybody else's drama, but it ain't their personal drama. Nobody's coming on your channels and regurgitating your gift. There are people who be like, I only got 200 views for my music video 5 years ago. Okay, but it's probably because it was whack and you were copying someone else. It's a vibe that's already out. This is why a lot of times I'm petty, because I always remind people if I wanted to, I would. If I want to take your views, I will. If I want to take your subs, I will. It's a gift thing. And when you heal people, most people are going to be drawn to your frequencies. It doesn't matter how much you look or talk like what you claim is the standard of life. The book of life is different for most people. The book of life refers to you, your expression, your footsteps. So look at how many people are always repeating someone else's footsteps and pretending they're on a godly divine level. I'll show you what it looks like. It's embarrassing for adults who can't admit they're childish, but all of them are pretending that divine people going through divine situations is them because they don't want the divine to escape. Okay, it says someone wealthy is paying attention to you heavy. We know. But the thing is, when you have built your own wealth, you don't have to worry about words taking away your power. They don't. You can simply acknowledge what's going on, speak on it, and continue to move. When people are upset that you're speaking about truth, low level people are not supposed to hear, they forget that all of those people are not low level. A lot of them are just in reprobate mind because they've been cursed, whether it be it by the food they have eaten, the things they've drinking, the drugs that are not made for their specific bloodlines. Okay, a lot of these people are trying to be comfortable in their debt. And their debt came from serving the wrong side. See, when you are spiritually abundant, you have everything you want because God is not going to give you anything you don't need. Okay, you may have wanted that $10 million house, but God said, baby, you okay right here in this 6 bedroom. And that's all you need. Go get another acre. Show your kids how to farm the land. Show your kids how to be healthy. Stop neglecting them. Make sure y'all still having family dinners as a family. Put them black mirrors up and look each other in your own black mirrors, your eyes. See, everyone doesn't have a personal black mirror. This is why people who don't have darker eyes, they can't see through the veil of light. They have to get on the side of light, and white is right, because your eyes can't see through the light. You don't have enough melanin in your iris. The people that get it, you can see. I don't care what race or ethnicity you are, you can see. So it becomes a choice if you want to actually talk about what you see or put yourself as the face of it. What do you see most people doing? Okay, most people can't even free themselves from their own curses because they're still trying to curse the only person who came to free them. Free of charge. Free of charge. And that's what happens when certain people forget what you have put value in, we already know doesn't have value. So we have to overput our value in protection, because what you have, money can't buy. Just people who are angry and have the power to take you out of your mission. And for them, that includes violence, death, whatever they have to do to make sure your power does not exude through your vessel. And if y'all can pay attention to my comments when y'all rewatch these live streams and stuff. You want to know why? Because the people who are in my chats are the very people who are being judged. And they're upset because they're not powerful enough to do anything other than talk. Talk away, baby. You're a mimic. Mimics can't do nothing but repeat what you're saying back to you on some I'm going to repeat it back to you, but it's not going to come back the way you put it out. Like on some Wishmaster things. Okay, they be real mad. Okay, like if you watch certain people, they keep repeating my content and my story, what I'm going through personally during this Earth Angel journey. And they're turning it into, oh my goodness, y'all, you so powerful, which is backing down from you. Okay, someone wealthy is paying attention to you heavy. Who? You're so busy trying to be like the fake wealthy. When real wealthy comes along, you don't pay attention to it. Just as easy as I go on live streams and I bless people every day of the week. Okay, I'm always in live streams blessing people. Here's some love. You've been on here 3 hours, ain't nobody showed you no love. Love means giving something that you're not expecting something in return for. Here, let me drop $200 in here. Let me drop $20. Let me drop $10 and see if you know how to be grateful so I can drop some more. None of these people can do that because they're not abundant enough to give. See, when you're a real divine spirit, you're not here to take from people. And when people try to take from you, it's funny because a lot of times all you got to do is ask. And if we ever say no, it's because you're playing on the wrong side. So what do most people do? They take it anyway. They take it anyway, honey. Okay, and it's okay because that's how karma comes in and defends us. No one asked you to. You felt to take it upon yourself to try to tarnish one's image who is more divine than you. People can't handle that. Okay? That's it. Okay? This is what happens when people are so caught up in their own delusion. Okay? Your energy is spooking people out. I know. But imagine when you're not made to be scary. You're made to help people understand, why are you living in fear when you have earth angels like us? And at any time, we usually lay down this earthly life and we'll come right back and meet you in a new body. We don't give a damn. We don't fear something we come from. To live means you haven't died. You rejected death. When you have died before, people forget you don't come back the same. So I don't care who you think you worshiping. If Jesus died good, that means he came back bad. Okay? But when you don't finish your stories, okay, when you don't finish your book of life, you have to come back and finish it in a time where people don't understand your time. What type of time you own, what type of time you come from, why you think that way, why you feel that way, why you see things the way you see it. They don't realize you have passed away before and came back to a time that looks unfamiliar because the devils have tried to change your environment so you can't find them. Because they know we're going to get sent back. If, like I said, if only you guys knew why I only do my live streams in a small office no one knows about. Because if certain people could burn me from a stake, okay, or put that beam, okay, right through my windows and different, they would. And it would be the very people who talk about in the name of God, in the name of Jesus, okay, the same people who don't realize you already have someone that's here to love you to life, the real life. But you despise them because you want worldly attention from people who will do you worldly. And see, worldly people try to hurt you in worldly ways. But when you're divine, you're not even trying to hurt people. We have to hold the mirror up to you so you realize your anger at us is really anger within. It's not us. We're here to help you process your rage. Rage is a different feeling than anger. Rage blocks your divinity. Okay, I don't give a damn what you do to me. If I call it out, that doesn't mean I'm angry. I'm keeping myself from dealing with you using an emotion called rage. Rage is what will make me obliterate you. If I ever have to tap into my rage and use it on specific people, you will see them in the headlines as nothing more than dead. But rage is something made to rest behind the shadows. And you reach into rage when the situations require it. See, a lot of people forget you're not having spiritual warfare. You're having identity crisis, and you're having a hard time admitting you are a child in an adult's body because you aged the wrong way, for the wrong people, for the wrong reasons. See, people that are on the right side of karma, they age and you look at them like, damn, you still look like you did when you was 24. Okay, see, a lot of people, they look at your age. That's why if they can't tell your age, they got to ask you. And if you can't tell, most people look at me as a baby face wig splitter because I am. But my spirit is older than anything they could ever interfere with. But this is how God really works. God uses babies because wicked people don't like children. They don't give children a say so. They don't believe children are wise enough or old enough to have anything of wisdom that their old ass could have. Meanwhile, look how many people, their children are the curse breakers. Their children are the first people that became a millionaire, a billionaire. Their children are the first people who stopped beating their kids and started having conversations. Okay, a lot of people are mad because they still have the mindset of, if I don't understand you, I'm gonna beat the indifference away. Okay, because really I'm indifferent to you, but you're causing waves so big, I have to be concerned about you. That is why people hate children. And when people confuse you as a baby-faced adult, they're always attacking you in childish ways, forgetting I am the dun-dun-dun. I already know what you're looking at, because when they see me, most of them are reimagining how they suck the life out of their own kids, how they beat their own kids' destiny. Girl, look at you. Ain't nobody, look at you. Ain't nobody gonna want to do nothing for you. Ain't a, girl, bye. Okay, these are the people who try to destroy your inner child. But if you didn't know, your inner child is the villain. It's the age of older generations that makes you complacent, because all of them cannot admit they were complacent to changes they should have attacked with their rage. Okay, I don't care what generation you came from. Every generation has been acquired rage. There's something the government and the people working with them under the tables has done to make you feel the highest form of rage. But what most people do is channel it into things that don't matter. Girl, I was so mad. They talking about I ain't have shit. I went and got a mortgage. Now you paying that mortgage for 23 years later, and you alone in that house. Your kids then left you. They don't come back. Okay, you broke their spirits in that house. Okay, you let them lose their V card to your new boyfriend in that house, and turn a blind eye. The amount of people who can't admit they're only following divine people because they fucked up on a path that could have been divine for them, but you went against self. I don't care what you say. Okay, you can be running a race good as hell. Okay, you want to know what makes you lose races? Looking around. What you looking for? Who you looking for? The finish line is in front of you. Why you looking to the side to see who in the bleachers? Okay, why you looking behind you to see how far that? It's not a race for the divine, because if anything, you're on demon time. We have to remind you, most of us don't get past 33 years. So we have to come here and give you all of the ether we have to give you. Lay down our life so we can protect you from the spiritual realm. So we don't care if you're here getting views 5 years later and you never hear from us again. You will always hear us. We leave our mark, and our marks are internal. So it doesn't matter about the mole on your face, the age spots on your skin. One day, you're going to be nothing more than a pile of bones and dust. And the only ether people can connect to is the ether you put out. So what ether are you putting out? Look around you and see how much ether people can't afford to put out. Their ether is coming from someone else's journey. And it's usually a journey they will never take because you were not put here to take it. Let's show you. I'm gonna continue showing you. This rich public figure is in love with you because your face looks way younger and beautiful. These people are 40 something years old, still trying to fix their makeup and different things so that they can fight the younger generation for being nothing other than themselves. Okay? It's not their book of life. That's why it becomes their book of the dead, and only the dead decide how earth angels deal with them. But imagine when earth angels are so pure. We try our hardest not to deal with you on a humane level, just a spiritual one. But for a lot of people, that spiritual breaking is enough to change your physical. If people who don't have power can spiritually break you and make you forget who you are, make you look run down, what do you think happens when the spiritual world gets a hold of you? You'll be 28 looking like you're 62 when you fuck with the wrong spirits. Okay? And you could fuck with the right ones, they gonna do it too, just to humble you, because there are certain things that are far worse than death. And a lot of people already know this. So let's continue, because we're gonna show you. We're just showing you. It's common sense. Okay? There's no way out. They use this organization to steal from you, cover up their crime. Who? Who? This is what happens when people can't admit they are nothing more than pawns in the devil's choir. Because what do? Nothing different than the people who you're claiming you're different than. Well, I didn't steal this. I didn't. You're doing the same thing in a different form, using a different substance to say you're doing it on the behalf of that substance. Okay, but notice most people who talk about God, they're not talking about the God of the universe. They're talking about the God they want people to see them as. Okay, spirit, give me this. Spirit doesn't have to give you anything. You are a spirit. So why are you a spirit looking for other spirits to give you stuff? You've been given a book of life of your own. If your book of life is not giving you anything, it's because you're still living in someone else's shadows. You're mimics. Okay, and see, this is why people have it confused. When the divine speak, we have to remind these people that they are not the divine. You are in the devil's choir. What does the devil choir do? They repeat the same shit over and over again because it is them who don't want you to find the real divine. So if they're all pretending they're singing the same song, do you ever really find the divine? Very few people do. Okay? This is the devil's choir. I'm showing you what the devil's choir look like. They talk about God, but they're overshadowing the book of life of someone divine. But they themselves actually need this book because that's how they lead you. Okay? They can't lead you without these people. Okay? I'm just showing you how it goes. Let's do it. These are the devil's choirs. Used your images to make a profit. Now people want to cash out on all the insurance policies they took out. These are people who don't even have enough money to pay for their own funerals if they die today. These are the same people who can't admit that they want the numbers. They want to be followed like Jesus, even if they don't have any wisdom. This is the devil's choir. They're mimics. They can only repeat what they hear. They can only imagine what it would be like to be in the divine situation, how they would have handled it. But see, when you are full of nothing but creation, we be ready to leave this earthly form so we can chill in the shadows and give you a boost. We don't need it. We don't want it. We don't desire to be famous in a worldly way. Imagine being famous for being empty in a world that makes all the profit off of you in spirit. Then think about being removed from that world and being allowed to share your gift and powerfully protect the gift you're releasing and the person you're allowing to lead that gift. This is why people say, God is talking to me. If God was talking to you, you would be able to create something people ain't seen before, ain't heard before, ain't felt before. You can't because you're operating in the devil's choir. You niggas are nothing more than mimics. You're a parrot to my divinity. This is how it goes. Okay? Notice when people come in my chat, they're mad. They don't even want me to talk. But this is my channel, right? This is my channel where I'm channeling what applies to me. So if you don't like it, you're literally telling people you're the distraction. You're the person here in anger, and you can't even admit where it's from. There are whole channels that use AI, but you're here like, oh, you're using AI. If you look at my shorts long enough, you'll see that my shorts don't say AI. Most of those are actually filmed from real movies that I've put out as short films, and some of them as actual whole films. So if you're mad that I use my own creativity so that I don't get docked, be upset. Okay? These are places that actually exist. Okay? You wouldn't know because you're not invited to our cookout. Okay? We don't have cookouts. We have bonfires, and there's usually a person on it. Okay? This is what happens when people try to repeat holy actions, but put their God at the center of it. And their God is a jealous God. Okay? They can't stop showing you who they are talking about. Their God is a jealous God. Let me continue to show you. Okay? I'm going to show you what the devil's choir looks like. Because they all sing in the same tune, but it ain't them. Okay? Your reputation humiliated everybody who lied on you. The truth went global. The truth can't go global because everyone's trying to stop the truth at themselves. And people are like, damn, why is everybody getting the same readings? Because they're all copying the same divine path they're not on. Oh, this is what this means. Okay, instead of using fake cards and all this, why can't they say a name? What Beyonce say? Say my name, say my name. They can't because saying your name, they think you want their attention. We're not here for your attention. So there's nothing you can't get without not stepping in our path. You can get everything you want. The thing is, most people want your power, and they can't say that. Okay, they'd be like, I want the money and the power. No, most of y'all would say, fuck that money if you knew what power felt like. But you don't. That is why people who have real power, they put us in Area 51. Okay? Imagine trying to MK Ultra me, and it didn't work. It's called frequency. All that science, all that testing, and you forget you can only MK people who have fear and different emotions that you use to make them complacent. See, a lot of people were not expecting me to remember everything. They were expecting me to wake up and be like, well, I guess I'll do drugs now because I don't even remember how the fuck I got to this part of my life. I don't remember the people who were in my life. I remember everything, bitch. You failed. Oh, to be on the right side of the law, honey. Okay, at this point it becomes how can we help you, ma'am? Whatever you need, ma'am. The same people who were ready to go against me had to bow and say, whatever you need. Where do you need us to go? It becomes send me, I'll go. Trouble in my way. And a lot of people forget, if I ever have to cry sometimes, you gonna be done crying for the rest of your life. You just gonna have to accept defeat. Because that's what it's like when the divine see their babies. Okay, see, when you're a baby to to the divine, they look at you as a new shadow. And new shadows have to be covered with a greater one. Okay? So, past a certain point, people forget I would never come here and give you the master keys of divine because it's only set for a certain few souls. There are only very few souls who are pure enough to even be able to receive what they're hearing and instantly not want to do something terribly bad with it. And terribly bad to a lot of people is like, oh, you did this, you did that, you stole this, that's copyright. No, for some people, terribly bad is simply giving the wrong people the right information. Sometimes that's the worst thing you could ever do. Imagine having someone you think is your best friend, and the divine gives you something. You tell it to your friend. Your friend then is setting up a plot against you because they're thinking about that one idea. They don't think about the fact that I have millions of thoughts just like this. See, this is what happens when they tried to kill you and had to bring you back, but you came back in a different form they couldn't kill again. Some people are just lucky, but we're lucky because we were never on the wrong side of fate. Fate found us. See, when you don't find fate, certain things can't happen to you. But when you go looking for fate, okay, fate has a way of consuming you and disappearing your ether to where people never knew you even existed. Only someone who is bored and looking for attention will ever use your name again. So what happens when you try to kill off someone and the spirit of life says, we're not done with this vessel yet? Rise. Finish your story. And you don't understand why you're finishing it. You don't even know who you're finishing it for. Half the time you don't even remember the actual family you come from in bloodline. They have to find you again. And by the time you reconnect, everything is understood. And they understand who you are in the bloodline. They understand where they went wrong in the bloodline. And most people have to rearrange their positions. It doesn't become a battle of narcissistic families fighting within themselves. It becomes lead us. See, sometimes a simple apology changes everything in your trajectory. And a lot of people get upset because I've learned how to apologize. I learned when my rage was unnecessary. And I took it back and I put it where it was needed to be put. And a lot of people can't do that. And that is why they still think they are angry. What you angry at? Self, for letting somebody get over on you like that. For letting somebody play in your face like that. For letting somebody come along and say, how dare you let me, someone who's not as great as you, ruffle your feathers. At that point, it's like, a bitch can't play with me. Okay, but if you know that, stand on it, move like it. Because when you understand that and you overstand that, baby, you get real quiet. Okay, sometimes your stares say so much, they be like, please don't look at me. Because you're going to say everything that I don't want to hear and you ain't said a word. That is divine. When people refuse to be in your presence because that means looking at themselves like a mirror, baby, you know you the one. Okay, and the reason why I have no fear doing it is because, baby, I done looked in every part of myself there was to look in. You can't kill me and expect me not to be something different than you. You tried to kill my physical and got mad when the divine said, wake your ass up. We got you. And just like that, Area 51 has never been the same, has it? And we're not done yet. And when I'm done, I'm going to lay down my own life and watch my people fuck you up from the shadows. And I will be clapping and dancing and singing in victory because I love the shadows. I love my darkness. Imagine when they make you forget the only reason they live is to make you hate self. When you start loving self for what you are, you become what you're made to be. Divine. Darkness was not made to be covered with light. You hide your light with my darkness. But when you don't have a light, you're covering yourself with your own false light and pretending it's my darkness that makes you this way. If I wasn't being attacked, if you would stop being the devil and getting thee behind me, you would stop being attacked from every angle, because this path ain't for you, devil. This is why you have to say, get thee behind. Okay? But Jesus was a devil. You can't get behind me and expect me not to turn around and knock fire from you. Okay? I'm going to knock it all from your ass. And you going to sit there for a minute as I'm gaining speed. Okay? You know how in the movies where Jason just be walking, okay, everybody running, oh, they tripping over stuff, and you're just Jason walking through like, I'm gonna take my time with you, baby. Okay, can I take my time today, church? I'm not running nothing. Okay, when you've been running the wrong direction and realize you were running from self, you got to slow down and be like, hold on, self. Don't ever get beside me. Okay, this is what they mean when they say don't get beside yourself. Baby, I'm not beside myself. I'm above myself. So a lot of times if I ever see my earthly form going in directions that it's not made to go, my higher self adjusts like a puppet. Here, baby, that's something earthly, but we don't understand that because we're operating in godly status. So let me fix that. Let me return that to sender so you can finish your earthly, godly journey. And most people forget the people who are divine. We would never stand in your path. We will raise your name and make the world praise you. Why? Because there's enough praise for all of us. Praise is what we do. That's how we get close to you. We praise you. And if you don't let us praise you because you're trying to say that what we need to praise is you acting like us, we hold that mirror up, baby. Baby, we ain't praising you to act like us. Who is the spirit in this body? Show us yourself so we can praise you if you're meant to be praised. Join us. We're not here to overshadow you. Shadows don't overshadow each other. That's how it works. You become bigger together. Ever looked into a dark cave? All you know is this one giant realm of darkness. But you could think about a million different things that could be in it, can't you? But that's what happens when people forget the darkness is greater than the light. You can see everything in the light and everything's still fucked up, ain't it? Look at how you can see everything. You see the laws, you can read the laws, you can read everything they put in the light. It's their darkness they don't want to show you. But only certain people can come bring what's in their darkness to the light because they killed us. Imagine killing something and they don't understand why they're still seeing it. That's their anger. You supposed to be dead. I thought y'all said y'all got rid of her. If it ain't my time, baby. That's scary to most people when they thought they killed you and you pop up years later and they're scared about what you might say. This is how you know Jesus didn't come back and say nothing, because they would never let Jesus come back and tell the truth. This is why they want you to talk about the 12 disciples. And they look how little Jesus said in the Bible. What Jesus said supposedly was in red. Look how little Jesus said, but look how much the fake prophets who followed Jesus said. Ain't that interesting? The fake prophets got more to say than the prophet they're following. Ain't that something? But this is what happens when the prophets want to be rewarded as if they are what they're mimicking. But certain people don't ask for praise, just loyalty. Be loyal. You can talk about your own stories. You can talk about your own visions. But you don't need mine to do that. But that's what happens when you aren't taking the path to create new visions. Someone else who does is always in your eyesight. And again, imagine when you thought you killed something, and then 4 or 5 years later, it pops up and you don't understand how it still exists. They thought they cleared my bank accounts, and you ain't done shit. I told y'all the first time I touched some money, I split that shit up like Reed on Snowfall. I was like, bitch, you going in an account, we putting this 20K in an account. I don't care what they thought. Okay, real definition of you thought, but you didn't know my thoughts. And they be finding out in ways that humbles them. Okay, imagine when they're working with producers who are struggling, and I could pay your producer to betray you if I want to. And they're going to do it in the name of me. They don't care about what comes from it, whatever you ask. That's how bad it's eating them up. Imagine when you meet someone who wants to put you up and away, like the rapper Eve, and they don't know how this person found you, but it's because they never stop having their eyes on me. See, you never know who's really watching you. A lot of people, when they reach a certain level, the only thing they have to watch is the people pretending to be on their level. Because if they ever get enough abundance, they're not going to do what they want with it. They're going to take out other people they need. So imagine thinking you took out somebody you needed, then realized I was worth more alive than dead. But when you brought me back, you couldn't use me because I was too powerful. I was already being used by something higher. See, when you come into this world and your parents have already done a million rituals and curses in the name of Jesus and everyone else, you don't get a choice about the type of spiritual wickedness you have to fight to find yourself again. You're fighting the curses and acknowledgments of your parents. And most of them can't admit why you're going through certain things spiritually. It's because they put it on you. They don't need to baptize you. You're pure. Why do you need to baptize a child? Because they're unpure and they need you to be unpure with them. So they baptize you in ritual to say, whatever you do now is okay because it's covered. Whole time they're giving you bad karma. Because just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. But when they're telling you somebody already died so you can sin, I just died. So unless you did these things after 2020, nothing has been forgiven for you. But they can't tell you that because most of them don't have a mind enough to listen to divine conversations. They're still trying to destroy the very only things they created. If all you really created was your children, ask yourself why there's so many parents whose children ain't doing shit in life. Ask yourself why there's so many people online talking about themselves and not their children. Out of the mouth of babes, where are your children? You know where your children are? Somewhere in darkness talking to people like us. And we're trying to guide them away from people like you because if they ever figure out that you see through the veil, your own parents, your own siblings, your own aunties, your own everybody, they're going to be the main people saying, she thinking too much. She done figured it out. So what y'all want to do? We going to have a barbecue or something. We going to have her over here. We going to put this, she pop pills. Okay. They find your vices and use them against you and then say, we're so sad. Okay. There are more families who want to be giving fake empathy and sympathy, knowing that they only get that when they take out the people in their family who are seen as the light. That's why they're always in news stories. Oh my God, my baby, she didn't hurt nobody. She was just so smart. But the whole time, you couldn't handle seeing her be that way or him be that way because it wasn't you. Yeah, it was a person you created. But that person is an energy of themselves, not you. And this is why people love tarot cards and different things because they use these cards to represent divine people's path. But what most of them are not admitting is that they are in the devil's choir. Because if you would let the divine speak, we don't need you to repeat our stories. If anything, when you repeat our stories, you're keeping people stuck. And we've already turned the page. We're on the next chapter. You're keeping them stuck. Let's continue. I'm going to show you what I mean. Nobody thinks they're more divine than people who should be watching their kids elevating their own households, but they're too busy watching yours. Okay, everything ain't racism and classism the way people say. Everything is spiritual. And I don't care what class you come from. Most people lack spirituality. That's why they keep trying to blur the lines of spirituality with witchcraft. It says you stayed private, but now you're about to be known worldwide, whether you like it or not. Why? Because they're devils. See, devils try to overhype your image so that people don't look at it a certain way. But the same way people worship God and don't see it is the same way people will remember me and don't ever have to see me again. That's what happens when you actually leave your mark. And your mark is not made to be left in the physical. Not your house, not your car, not how fashionable you are. Your mark is to be made in spirit, because that's what people can't get up off of them, is a spirit. And if your spirit is good enough, they don't want to be gotten from your spirit. Okay? If you pay attention to most of the people who follow me on my channel, most of them are men and most of them are from other countries and other denominations where they practice high level witchcraft. They will say, oh, I worship Allah. I worship. Most of the people who come to my channel are trying to figure out how to merge the Bible with what I'm saying. They're trying to figure out how to conform the Quran and the Torah and to what I'm saying because they're demons. Demons try to create holiness, hide behind the fake created holiness while seeking the words and wisdom of the divine. Then when they find the divine, they mimic and mock the divine. This is why in my headline it says, I am the great covenant that they mock, because they thought I was dead. Imagine thinking you killed something that the universe did not give you the power to take yet. Don't ask me how I survived, because I can't tell you either with my human mind. But I'm here. And what I remember is enough to make me go ham. That's the problem. They don't know which way you're going to hit them from because they don't know how much you remember. I remember everything. I remember everyone. I remember everyone who had a part in my death. I remember all of you. I remember how y'all stabbed me. I remember how you tried to blind my eyes. I remember the things you tried to make me drink. I remember all of it. The way you dismembered me. See, a lot of people can't handle something they feel like, did we really do this to her? You did, and you know you did. You just can't admit that you're time loopers, and time does not heal all, especially if you don't have a healer. And that's why certain people are spooky. This is why certain people come along and they try to destroy your image. What's done in the dark. So imagine trying to get rid of someone in the dark, and the person you thought was trash, never to be found again in a dumpster, shows up in the best form you've ever seen it in, more youthful, more everything. And you don't understand where it came from. Who brought you back? How did you get here? If only y'all knew the reason why I am so secretive is because certain people are always trying to send hits to me because they don't want me to speak on their darkness. But if you would stop trying to pretend you are my light, I would have no reason to reach in your darkness to begin with. It's already disgusting and filthy. So if I ever have to put it in the light, at least I do it in a nice, calm way, a way that you can say sorry and learn a better path. These are the people who should be talking to their children about life and what happens and their path, but they're too busy stalking other people's children. And this is why when you're a parent, you got to stop listening to other people and how they raise their kids. Most of them are raising their kids to go against yours. There is no village. And the village there are like the places I create. That's why I tell people when I come on chats and I say, how are you doing? A lot of people be like, get out. Whole time I'll be like, you don't have to tell me once but to leave. But you called me. You said you needed something. And only something who wants you to have things can hear you. So if I ever come and then you see a lot of people, I went to a live stream. This was a couple days ago. And I came in and I said, "May I ask you a question?" And one of the moderators said, "Nope, you can't ask no questions. Ain't it funny when you think you're gonna come cause havoc over here? We don't want other channels over here or your drama. They're devils." In other words, they watch people mock you and criticize you and try to take from you. But they also won't speak out against it because they hate you too. And I said, I didn't know being a moderator was a real job, but I didn't come here to talk to your moderators. When I said, "May I ask you a question?" the only question I had was, what would you do if you were $1,000 richer today? That was the only question I had. And imagine not even being able to ask people what they would do with their abundance. Because a lot of times that's how I decide if I want to bless you. See, a lot of people are like, why don't you have a fancy? I don't want it. I've already had that. So past a certain point, you bless people because you realize you get more rank, more love, more appreciation from blessing people than you do collecting wealth and boasting about it. See, a lot of people, they've never had wealth. What they have is what they're calling riches. But you can only be rich if you were first poor. If you were never really poor, you're not rich, you become wealthy. It's a difference. Okay, look how many people left. They finna make a live stream and a video right now. But this is what I mean when I say devils are the choir. And when you don't need a choir, it's because you're the head siren. You will hear me speak, and when I'm done, only then will you continue your choiring. Of course, they'll be like, Lucy was the head demon that God hated. That went, no, 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 no. The whole choir hated what they considered to be Lucy because Lucy had a mind of their own. And the name is not Lucy. This is why I told y'all to stay tuned. I'm going to show you in spirit, and I'm going to show you with actual biological facts, earthly facts of who certain people are, why their names are in every part of everyone's language. A lot of people think, oh, there's hundreds of thousands of languages. Cool, but did you know that in over 800 of these languages, certain things mean the same exact thing in every language? Certain words, they may be a 3-letter word, it may be a 10-letter word. Some of these words mean the same thing in every single language. I don't care if it's Japanese, I don't care if it's Hindu, they mean the same thing because they're a person. They are not words, they are people. And they are people that have died and are trying to find their bodies. And they can't come back and help you because you're calling their names in vain. Okay, so I'm going to teach you a little bit about this. And the only people who are going to be upset are the people who want you to forget that knowledge is power. And this is why a lot of people who don't have it, they keep lurking in the spaces of the divine, because we're not here to take your physical gain, but you're here to take ours because you think we're on the same wavelength. When really, most of us are here to give away what we collect. We are creators. We have no need to create and sit on the creation. A lot of people create and sit on it because they will never create again. So imagine thinking you're taking people's best creativity. The best is yet to come. Small things to a giant. And don't you think giants see things differently than a smaller mind would, than a smaller frame would? You see the world at an angle only you could see it at. When I tell a lot of people, we prepare a table for you in midst of your enemies, they're going to understand that because your enemies are going to have to become you in front of the whole world to even get looked at, listened to. And when we leave and give you the rank and make you the captain of this new ship, guess what? They're going to have to follow you. And as long as you keep following the divine and don't let worldly people get in your way, it's nothing that these demons who have been left behind can do to stop you from finding your way out. See, a lot of people forget you're at a time where time has already shifted. You are already in the new world. And the new world is fucking y'all up because it is a different frequency. Okay, they knew what was happening in the last 5 to 10 years. The frequency change. But if they can get you to change with the frequency instead of rise above it, most of y'all felt the change, but you didn't go against it. That is an issue. That is a problem. But for certain people who are battling other spirits head on, we know that it's not your fault, which is why we make sure to leave bits and pieces of the truth, okay, the mirror of truth, because only certain people can pick up that mirror and understand what's being said. Everyone else picks up that mirror and they break it. Okay, they pick up that mirror, see what they see, and break that mirror and go get a new one that shows them what they want to see. But when you're chosen, when you're divine, and the divine has chosen you because we see you, we show you the mirror, let you see yourself, and allow you to change in the shadows where they can't see you. And when it's time, we call your name. Not because we're giving you our power, but because we praise you for being able to walk in your own. Millions and billions of people, a lot of people forget there will always be certain people who are the one. And when the ones start meeting each other, it becomes hell on earth because nobody ever expected you to put your energy back in alignment to where you could align with people who only raise you higher. You've been taught that in order to raise yourself higher, you have to align with the low level people who claim to be rich, who claim to have what you want, when in actuality, those people are empty and everything they produce will give them empty results. Okay. So again, for those of you who are on the path of understanding divinity and not so you can overstep people, you're going to have fun the next couple of weeks coming here, couple of months coming here, because you're going to see things you've never seen. You're going to see bits and pieces of different people's lives you didn't know existed that way because they won't show you their truth. They get paid to show you a lie so that you keep following the same path they did. And the more stuck you get on that same path, the more free they can come back from it. In other words, they're using you as a trap to find freedom. If I can trap you, okay, for a long time, okay, they have time to roam freely. But see, if they don't trap you, they can't roam freely because they're still trying to find you so that they can pretend they're free. Okay, when you understand that demons who are low level, witches who are low level, okay, they need to find you to have peace. You are their path. Everything you say, everything you do, they can't do nothing in this world if they don't find you to copy it from. And some of y'all are going to realize this. And like I said, a lot of people right now are pretending they're so creative. They're going through these things. But they're not. No one could bend your will. You hold royal lineage. Who? Again, this is what I mean when I say so many people are pretending to be divine when they're only repeating the stories of one particular divine person. And these are the people y'all go to online and lie to you. Okay, they tried to betray you and now they're cursed. This is what happens when most people's revelations don't add up. Notice how the people in the chat who came in with their low vibrational energy, fake witch energy, when they realized it didn't work, that's why I don't block them out. It doesn't disturb my energy. Okay, me being who I am disturbs their energy so much. They show people who I am and why I am who I am. It says you're no skills or educated. They're all generative AI, which is, if it was AI, I'm pretty sure YouTube would make me listed as AI. This is what happens when people forget if they can film a movie, we can too. But most of our movies go overseas because there's nothing but mass copycats here. And some people have the ability to relax and just enjoy life and entertainment for what it is. And that's what they get, something to be entertained by that helps them spiritually understand they're not lost and they're not poor as people want you to feel. Okay. And I love when people try to downplay what I'm talking about, because the people who downplay me, all of them end up repeating my words and then saying, she's the fake, I'm the real. Well, if you're speaking real shit and you're saying nothing more than what I'm saying, what would make me fake? Certain people have to destroy you to even give themselves a rank. This is how low level minds work. Because if they ever had a high level mind, wouldn't they not support you? Would they not speak up in a high fashion towards you? But look how quick people praise fake celebrities and people who make songs that are AI. And most of the songs y'all listen to are AI. Okay, Cardi B's voice didn't just change and go from sounding like, a rough person from the Dominican Republic to sounding like she's from the South and has an accent. People from New York don't talk like people from the South. I'm pretty sure we know. Common sense would be like, oh, where are you from? Okay. And a lot of people are pretending they don't hear the differences and they don't see the differences. But it's because they're demons. Demons love when other people wear their faces. It makes them feel important until they become jealous. See, their God is a jealous God. Our God is a just God. So our God doesn't care about the jealousy you feel. Our God just serves justice. And it's a beautiful thing, just not for the people who think they're above justice. But that's what jealousy and envy gets you, confused, until you fuck around and find out. Okay? And a lot of people who speak certain things, they're the main people who know they're the cursed. People who are really cursed, they don't care how hard they go against the divine. You scare the hell out of someone and they'll never try you again. Who? See, time is everything. And this is how we're going to teach people how to use their black mirrors. This is why YouTube will tell you what date. Oh, you posted this on June 16th. This is why they won't show you the time. And for people who care so much about time and tracking your watch hours, why don't they list the time that shows when you posted? Because most people will be able to say, she posted this at 3:33 a.m. And then from that time, 20 other channels, hundreds of other channels posted about the same thing. This is why they show you the date, but they won't show you the time. When I talk about certain things, I want you to look at how quick certain people try to hurry up and post within 30 minutes of me. Well, she posted at this time, I did too, so I'm divine. No, they're letting you know they are the devil's choir going against me. Because if you actually understood what I was saying and supported it, you would say, I was watching this person and I believe she's actually right about this. I really do think she's right about this because I've gone through this personally. They can't relate. So they take the information and say, me too. Meanwhile, the people in your chat are low vibrational and they know that. That's why you got to beg them to spend money. You got to beg them. I'm not going to come here and ask you for nothing I already have. It's the people who don't have it who are here looking to gain off of what they don't have. A reason to even be asking or expecting anything of abundance. See, when you're blessed and you know you're doing things with good intention, you expect to be blessed. You expect to wake up and have a beautiful day. You expect to go through your day protected. But when you're playing on the wrong side, you're the people that usually have to look over your shoulders all the time because you're offensive. You don't care how you talk to people. You don't care what they've gone through, who they lost. Okay? I think it's strange when I watch certain adults, and certain adults have their mom, their dad, their grandparents still living, but they're always trying to tell younger people who have lost more than them what they're feeling. Okay? Imagine being 16 years old and then you become 24 and they're telling you that you need to get over losing your mom or your dad when you was younger. You grown now, okay? I'm grown too, and my mama don't do this. You're 67 years old. Why would your mom and dad need to do stuff for you? But as a 24-year-old, you're expecting people to ignore the 24-year-old but help you. They on here, God, do this. Yes, yes, give to me, give to me. If you realized how many of your fake elders are the ones standing in the place of your abundance, you see why most people tell you to respect your elders. You can't respect nobody who don't respect you. And if they ever respected you, they will get out of your way. You can't have a path if somebody's always on it and in the middle of it. And if their path didn't align and take them higher so they could bring you along, it's because their path didn't work and it was usually not their path to take. So they stunted you and are waiting for you to find a way to unstunt yourself. And if you ever do, they not gonna let you live it down. They're gonna say, well, why you don't do this for your mama? Why you don't do this for your grandma? So, but these are the same people who would allow you to put yourself in situations that become life and death. These are the same people who will tell you to get over your grief and your pain of losing a parent when they ain't lost their parents yet. See, a lot of times you have to remind yourself you're not crazy when life shows you more than other people. Usually the divine know we have to make some things happen for you to move away. We have to take some people into the shadow realm and let them talk to you from the shadows, because only then will you want to get alone so you can hear the shadows more than people bringing you fake light. You're going to learn more in your darkness than the light could ever teach you, because they do other stuff in their darkness that ain't got nothing to do with the light they show. If only you knew how many people for the last 2 years have been praying against me, have been chanting against me, who have tried to sacrifice me multiple times, who have sent hits to where they thought I was. See, when you are actually doing divine work, baby, they don't want you here. They sending shots. And we like that because some of us have perfected our cease and desist so well. We be ready to play the game. Okay, we be like, okay, cool. 6 dudes outside for the past 2 days. Are they saying they're gonna keep me in this location? Watch this. Okay, this is what a lot of people don't understand. This is why apartments, HOAs, suburban neighborhoods, this is why they really exist. Because they put people with a certain amount of money in a certain area, and depending on how you produce is how they decide who they want to pick with, who they want to pick off. If your kids are gifted, they will pick with your family a little bit more because they don't want you as the adult around. They want access to those kids. Okay, if they know you're good with your money, okay, you save up more, you're not flashy, most of those people are going to find a way to look for something to sue you for or something like that, because they know you're saving money, and if you're saving money you're preparing for a rainy day. Okay, so they can't really hit somebody the same way when you've prepared for what they're sending. And that's what earth angels like myself usually tend to go through. Okay, and again, you can't talk about the book of life, because unless that book includes your specific life, that's not your book of life. It's going to end up being your book of death. Okay? Stop listening to people who are still trying to tell everyone else's story. Start asking people their own story and see how much of their stories don't align, because they're the devils. When people are in the devil's choir, they can only sing the tune of people they worship. Okay, and some people worship you with a love-hate mind. So when they can't find nothing good to say about you, but they can't stop mimicking you, okay, when they say they hate you, but then they willing to cash out so their kid can pretend to be you, okay, a lot of this is what you're going to see. So there's not a lot of people who have real friends. There's not a lot of people who have ever had a real friend. Friends tell you the truth. So can you, most people say that they really have friends? No. Can most people say that they know what a family is? No, because the only family that matters is your spiritual family. The other ones were makeshift, put together by people who just wanted something to do because everyone else was doing it. Look at how many people have kids and nothing in their life has improved since having kids. If anything, it got worse. Okay, I hate to hear people complain about motherhood and fatherhood and married life and this and that, because the thing is, you only did it because you thought you could get over on the system or the process itself better than other people could. That's why you sought it out. You saw it as an easy way out. But a lot of the time you put into children, marriage, even school, a lot of times is time you really need to be alone, trying to let your peace be still so you can gather your thoughts. Okay, in between kindergarten through 12, in between religion, in between all the bombarding of the television, how much time have you really taken out of your life and been allowed to just sit there and be and think? Let your thoughts come to you while blocking out all the ones that don't belong there. How many times have you sat in the darkness and not been scared? I want you to do yourself a favor. Go get in a dark room and take out most of the things that have metal in it. Go take out most of the things that have electric charge in that room. Okay? And sit in a room that is dark and see if ether comes to you. And if it doesn't, it's because you need to decompress your electric charge, meaning you're charged too much with the wrong energy. You can't receive the right. Because if you were, the last thing you're going to feel when you're sitting in a dark room, completely dark, is fear, is anxiousness, is anything. If anything, when you see darkness, you're going to feel peace. And if anyone turns the light on, you're not scared of what you see. Most of the time, they are. That's what happens when you clean up your darkness. And a lot of people are like, oh, you need to spiritually cleanse. Women and men spiritually cleanse differently. And for women who don't spiritually cleanse for real, your period is really what's given to you to spiritually cleanse. And a lot of women are so tainted in between those periods and allow themselves to be so tainted, they never really get to a point where they ever can cleanse. The blood's tainted. So if your blood as a woman is made to cleanse you, and you're still doing the same things year after year, month after month, sleeping with the same dirty people, okay, still creeping and getting up with your sneaky links, and okay, you're not getting to the core issues, baby. Okay, you are literally menstruating dirty blood. And when you're menstruating, you think you're cleansing something, but what you're doing is calling people who are low vibrational to you. See, dogs smell blood, animals smell blood, okay? And not all animals are smelling what you think they smell in your blood. A lot of them can smell your fear. A lot of them can smell you degenerating, okay? There is nobody who is an easier target than somebody who is sick or old, okay? Or the extremely young. These are the main targets in any parts of the world, any situation. They target the weak and the sick, the crippled, okay? So if you have a disability, if they think you have a disability, if they think you can't think for yourself, if they think you slower than everybody else, if they know that you're old, you can't run as fast, you can't do certain things, you don't have certain energy levels. Kids, okay, a lot of kids can do a lot of things, but they make kids feel like they can't do anything. You're too young, you're too little, you're too. Whole time, the only people who have the energy to do it without being tired would be kids. Okay, not saying kids don't get tired, it's the fact that they have more relentless energy to release. And a lot of people only allow kids to release energy by playing. Okay, and this is why adults get older. They try to release their energy by playing games. And most of the time, it's because they're childish. Period. Childish with kids. Could you imagine being a child waiting for a direction and instruction, and whole time you're waiting to turn 11 years old so you can be the little lady of the house, the little man of the house, because your parents are childish. They have to give you the responsibility at a young age while robbing you of your youth. And the parents who don't do this, their kids grow up and they become well rounded. They become loving, understanding. Okay? They only seek people who are similarly like that. They like to help people, they like to listen to people. Okay? They change their environments. So ask yourself, are you listening to the devil's choir? Or are you a part of the devil's choir? Because we all know the devil's choir means they're doing nothing more than repeating what everyone else is talking about. And for those of you who are actually repeating this situation with good taste, bless you in the highest form. And if you ever need to come a little closer for your blessings, come. Because we're talking about the people who actually use AI and other things. Okay, a lot of people be upset when you don't have to come how they come in. You can't put other people's choices on me when people can, the proof is in the pudding. Okay, so they can come to my channel and say, oh wow, her titles are usually normal, realistic. You don't see me using AI to get my point across. And a lot of people think that my shorts are all AI. They're not. Most of them are actual scenes that have been depicted from actual people. So imagine when people are upset that they can't claim that I'm faker than what they believe is real, knowing those people are using fake ideologies and platform tools. And again, this is what happens when people can't admit they're childish. And it's okay, because we're not here to battle the people who are childish. We're just here to tell the truth. And the truth hurts. Okay, lies feel good. Okay, when they tell you, you're going to get that house, you're going to get that job, that shit feel good till you realize most of y'all going to be in spiritual, financial debt and everything else trying to get to it. Somebody's going to bring in jealousy because they're mad that you have it. Okay, when you get that house, that car, whatever, and you realize certain people attached to you, and now you got to get rid of the person, but the person only wanted you for the stuff. So you getting rid of them, they gonna have to take you out because they just wanted to ride in your nice car. They just wanted to live in your nice 5-bedroom home. They just wanted, this is why people don't understand. I do my live streams from my doctor's office. Imagine being upset because someone's not willing to show you things you don't deserve to see. Okay, if you copy nothing more than my words and my image, if I let you see what's in my home, don't you think you're going to be looking for whatever you see to buy it to? Okay, so a lot of things, when you actually have something that's worth protecting, you don't have to show it off. It shows itself. And for people you're passing down protected things to, you don't owe the world what only belongs to them. This is going to be their pride, their joy, their way to pass on something so sacred. It uplifts them even when you're not here. So if you don't give your bloodline things that keep them high, even when you're not here to see them in their lows, they don't know how to call you. They don't know what they can reach into to lift themselves again. But that's why you, as an elder, have to humble yourself. Humbling yourself is not lowering yourself. Humbling yourself is realizing it takes a village. And if you ever want one, you got to participate in what the village is understanding or misunderstanding. Okay? To be perfectly misunderstood when you have a spiritual family, you're in the wrong place. But if you're in the right place, your spiritual family is going to become a village, and no one in that village is going to be left behind. You all see each other, hear each other. You ride for each other. And certain people are pretending to be a village when they're nothing more than enemies smiling in other enemies' faces and pretending they're friends. You know what they say, keep your friends close, your enemies closer. Most of these witches and warlocks and Masonic people, all of these people who try to go against their own divine in their own race and ethnicity. And I'm gonna say this right here for y'all who are being slow. Those people never win. I don't care how much it seems like they're winning, they never win. Every race, every ethnicity has chosen people in it. And they are the people who are shitted on the most just for being who they are. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're Mexican. I don't care where you're from. Every race and ethnicity has chosen divine people that the divine know you are there. We see you. We bless you. A lot of times we come in your space and talk to you when it's just you and us. It could be thousands of people on live stream, but in this chat, it's just going to be me and you. because I'm going to keep everybody else out this conversation so I can talk to your divine. And you're going to know when you're talking to divine people because we show up and we show out for you. And you going to know where it came from. You ain't got to tell us thank you. That's what we're for. And a lot of times, the thank you just makes us go harder because you're being grateful. Okay? You're being grateful. At that point, I just gave you $20, bitch. Let me drop 200. You get the way you were overly grateful is gonna make me bless you more. See, a lot of people, they don't bless you for being grateful. They bless you for being complacent with what they won't give you. Okay, you've been working at that job 10 years. They ain't gave you nan raise. Okay, but you still grateful, aren't you? But you can't get a blessing from people who don't see you as something to be grateful for. You get wasted time, underappreciated. You start losing your value being in a place where they don't give you recognition for what you actually are valued for. That's why some people need to move around. And some people are only where they are because their value matches the places they're in. Okay, it is what it is. Everyone is not chosen to keep growing and moving around for their betterment. For some people, they do worse when they look into the darkness and try to follow the real light because they're in environments where nobody around you is willing to do the same thing. At that point, you're making yourself a target. And if you know you're not ready to be in your environment looking over your shoulder against crazy people, if you don't want people with money to start targeting you, you may want to turn down trying to pretend you're singing for the divine choir. We do not need a choir. Most of us can be a siren by ourselves. So if you want to give credit, say my name, say my name. So we can do nothing more than come and bless you for hearing the truth, receiving it, and being grateful. That's how you get your blessings. People waiting on God. God works through people. And if you have not been a chosen vessel of abundance, you're not going to receive abundance from none of the people you're putting on a show for. They're here to take it. They're waiting on you to get blessed enough they can ask you for something. But what about when you come with the abundance? What about when you come with the praise and the love and the abundance? You having a bad day? Well, you look beautiful today. Cheer up. Yeah, I know, but I gotta pay this and my phone off and here, baby, let me drop 200. Go turn your phone on and go get you some lunch today and remember who you are. Sometimes it's the small boosts that make people remember. And a lot of people, they've never seen me again, but they don't forget me. I don't need you to remember me. But if you deny me in front of the world, I will deny you in front of my Father. And just like that, you become a victim to your own denial. At that point, it's out of my hands. Karma comes for you. And karma is not that nice, the way people think karma is nice. Okay? And some people think they have good karma. Nope. A lot of times, a lot of people just did you real wrong. And every opposite reaction has another reaction. So the wrong they did to you has no choice but to right itself. It's not necessarily a person that's writing it for you. It's a spirit that you can't see. We don't care about them coming to rob you. We do not care about them coming to rob you. We'll let them rob you and say, oh yeah, they gonna rob them. They gonna take the car too. Leave them barefoot, probably strip them naked. But we gonna show up and give you everything better. And move you away from the targets. Then we gonna turn around and bless your kids. Right in their faces. We gonna make sure you get the job. Okay, we'll be the very people whispering in your interviewer's ear, you better give them that motherfucking job. They're the best person you've ever seen come through here, credentials and all, in the last 2 years. Give them the job and offer them 75,000. Okay, you going from making 40,000, 50,000 a year. Now they finna up your scale a little bit. And you don't need 200K to be comfortable. You already doing the damn thing, making 50K a year. Okay? This is what happens when people forget the divine don't need you to divine us. We're here to praise you for listening. Imagine when all you got to do sometimes is be still and listen. Everything else, point. Point and tell us what you can't get to in the spiritual realm so we can see what's going on in the darkness. But if it's not your place to be in the darkness, what are you looking for? Everyone can't see in the dark. So if you can't see in the dark, stop looking. Talk to those who can and say, well, this is going on and I don't. Oh, okay, well, this is what we see in your darkness. And I know you love your boyfriend, but he is the problem in your darkness. He's playing on your side. He's fucking your best friend. Okay. He's doing this. He's messing with the person at church. Okay. And he might be messing with your kids too in a devilish way. Sometimes when we reach in people's darkness and they don't like what comes out, they try to kill us. But you sought us out. Imagine people wanting to attack you because they wanted to use you to look into other people's darkness, but their own darkness crept up and said, "Look at me." And then it becomes a, I don't think you need to be investigating nobody else's darkness because this is what yours looks like. And the mirror in me won't allow me to do that. Thank the divine. What's up, Chris? How you doing, baby? Thank you for stopping by. You're so welcome. Hello, Beverly. Thank you for stopping by. Grand rising to you as well. And an even better aligning. I appreciate you stopping by and joining the conversation. It's beautiful and it's greatly appreciated. Love and protection to you. And for everyone who stops by and understands, in order to think godly, you have to have godly conversations. And godly conversations do not start with other people, they start with you and where your path first felt shifted. Whether it's childhood, some people, their path seems clear cut as day until they become an adult, and then life starts pulling them different directions. Understand which part of the journey you're at and choose people who want you to get out of that. Okay? When I say get out of that, choose to listen to people who can do more than fake motivate you. See, a lot of people, they're pretending they're motivators. Okay? This is what I mean. How witchcraft contracts give dark into, these are all the same people I have spoken on before, and everything comes to the light. Go look at my live stream about serpentine divinities. Serpentines are not divine. They want to be. This is why they can't do anything if God don't say it first. See, when they said God said, "Get thee behind me," no, God told the devil to get out of my damn shadows. But they're pretending that the devil follows you when you're divine. No, the devil fears you, so they mock you. This is what happens when you're divine. If most people aren't mocking you, it's because you are the devil's choir, singing loud and proud so that people don't find the divine. But those who are really divine, they're going to know when the divine speaks and they're not going to go against it. They're going to say, you know what? She's not lying. He's not lying. And I feel it in my spirit. And I'm going to support you. See, devils, they team up with other devils because they know that person is specifically going against you. After a while, they build their community on hate, their hatred for you. When you're not doing the same things, by the time you produce and you give creativity, love, the whole world is going to feel it, whether they say it, whether they give you the numbers. You don't got to show my 100K. If you were to look at my analytics on here, some of my shorts right now have over 60,000 views, but they're still showing it to the public as 8,000, 10,000. Really? So how does this say 37,000, 60,000, and then you write them and they say, oh, it's just a problem with YouTube and Google, and no, it's not. It's y'all, because it's the tech centers who control the views and the analytics. So you could easily send out a request to anyone in your data tech team and say, hey, if you go on here, I need you to update their numbers. I need you to update their whatever, their views, their subscribers. They're choosing not to, and a lot of times they demote you. They can go in there and change the numbers as well. Okay, I go from having 4,000 subscribers, and within 30 minutes, I will go back and look, and what do they have? This is what happens when they play in the black mirrors. But one thing about playing in my black mirror, I'm gonna come do that shit in your real life. because I don't prefer mirrors unless I'm looking into myself. So if I ever look into these mirrors and I see something of myself not on myself, you become a target, because is that myself talking to myself like that? This is why in scary movies, pay attention in scary movies when a lot of people are about to break the curse or whatever they're going through. Have y'all noticed that they look in the mirror at themselves, but it's someone else looking back at them in an evil way because they're trying to represent you as evil to yourself? Even when you're not evil, they're telling you you need to worship something else because you're evil. When you already have a pure spirit, you already are not attacking people, you already doing what you need to. So why are they trying to force Jesus on you? Why are they trying to force witchcraft on you? Why are they telling you you need glam magic? You know, people who need glam magic, people who don't shine without fake shit. That's who need glam magic. People that don't have glam in their spirit. You're not a glamorous person naturally, so you need somebody else's fake glam to make you feel important. Okay? Again, nothing makes me feel more important than being able to watch people go through things and being able to help them. That is glamorous. But talking and telling people, I can tell you how to do it, but I can't help you. Okay? That's the devil. Because usually when you're abundant, you don't have to just come and talk about things and stuff and what you want in a worldly way. But people who don't have anything spiritually to live for, they look for fulfillment in stuff. Okay, they will buy the car and then be sitting in that same car crying because they got rejected by the dude they really want, but spiritually he doesn't see you as worthy. Same thing for men. A lot of women chase after men, and by the time they get them, they realize they were dumbfounded to what they were dealing with. He wasn't what they thought. Hey, baby. Happy dawn. Did you sleep good? Oh, baby, así guardarás. Ah, ¿cómo vas? We're about to leave in a little bit. You ready to go? I didn't want to wake you up. You needed your cat nap. No. I hope everyone is doing well. We're going to have some more conversations about things like we're talking about. What's up, baby? What's up, honey? What's up, sugar bug? But yeah, we're going to be having conversations, and some of the conversations we're having, you need to listen to with your divine mind, not your worldly mind, because your worldly mind is going to have you repeating things you need to keep to self. And once you keep it to yourself, get back on the algorithm and watch how many people are envious that the divine has come to free you right in their faces. And we don't care. They can take it, they can push it, they can try to say me too all they want. The only people who are going to be actually freed and praised for it are going to be the divine people who ain't scared to acknowledge us in front of the world. Again, if you deny us in front of the world, we will deny you in front of our Father. And our Father is the only one that matters, because our Father is just, not jealous. Imagine understanding you're only just because you don't have nothing to be jealous about. When you come from a place of wanting people to be happy, wanting people to know they're loved, wanting people to know they're seen and heard, you're nothing other than justice. Anything other than that will be a lie. And we all know the devil is a lie. Okay, so y'all tune in and continue to listen to the devil's choir pretending they're speaking for the divine. And watch how much more people who are divine are going to continue to rise. Keep certain things quiet. And if you ever need to make them loud so that the devil can move back, you reach out to your divine and let us know which direction you want your divine to go. We create that path for you, and we cut off other people spiritually who are going to try to get in your way. Okay? That's how it works. So again, stop being scary. Learn how to love on your people. Learn how to appreciate them and so many other things. Okay? Learn how to clap for people. Learn how to humble yourself when you've done wrong. Learn how to apologize. Even look at how many people are realizing I was always in the right, but they didn't understand where I came from because the devil was not advertising me. See, when you're really divine, you don't want advertisement from low vibrational people because eventually they're going to say, well, you were working with them too. Ah. They have to work with me. And if you can't work with me on the level I work on, I don't want to work with you. Okay, that's what happens when you get up with all power in your hands and people get upset because they keep getting credit to this power to people they can't see, people they want to see in power, but they've never seen it. When it's time for you to see it, you're going to see it. And it's not a book written, okay, or anything else that's going to come give you the divine recollection you're having. So, again, enjoy the conversations of godliness. Okay, stop letting people distract you. And for those of you who know you're on a divine path, stay tuned. We're going to show you how to keep feeding the devil's choir. But the more they repeat you, the higher you will rise. And this is how you know the devil don't got too much common sense. Okay? But we going to rely on the fact that we have abundance and common sense and intelligence and creativity and many other things. And guess what? When the time is right, you use your divine power to do divine things. Period. So stay tuned. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. For those of you who hit that like button and actually hit it with love and great intention, may you be nothing more than blessed and protected during this journey of elevation. Love to you.